Hi everybody, going to make you a screencast on how to create a Nearpod presentation. So when you get to Nearpod, you have your choices over here, and I want you to select the word create. We're going to keep this nice and simple. First thing you want to do is set up the credentials for what you're going to be working on. So the presentation I'm making is called a Decades Project. And I want to add in some other settings. So description and tags, at this point I'm just going to write Unit 4 because that's part of my social studies thing. Select some grades that could apply to it. I usually select a couple above and a couple below my grade level. And also you want to select your subject that it applies to. Helps you organize everything later. Now, when you click Add Slide, basically a Nearpod presentation is like a PowerPoint on, with like a really powerful, strong PowerPoint that's super interactive with lots of different varieties of things. When you click select the Add Slide, you have 3 selections. You have add content, add web content, and add activity. So we're going to go through each of these, but we're going to first start with add content. And you even have options once you open that up. You have all these different options, and we'll go through those later on too. The first one I want to do is create just a cover slide, so your main page, just to let your students know what it is that they're going to be working on. And I had created a PowerPoint JPEG image of my own, and I just now embedded it into the Nearpod, but I don't like that it has these title shots. So if I click on it, there's a little trash can here. I can get rid of those, and now you can see it. Now it looks kind of nice and tidy and neat, and I click the word save, and it's all set. Next thing I want to do is give a very quick warm-up activity to my students. Kids love this very next feature, what I'm going to add in. So I'm going to add in an activity to get them all set up. And the first activity I want them to do is a drawing. And when you open it up, you need to add in your own question of what you want them to draw. So I want them to draw me a picture of a hippie. Is it IE? That looks right. And I'm going to add in an image just to make it look kind of interesting and cute. And then I'm also going to add in an image right at this main area. So I'm going to browse my files, and I have this little picture frame saved. I found that usually having something here other than just a blank page makes it a lot more interesting for them. And later on, you'll see that they can add in a picture for you, and they can upload a picture, they can type in stuff. So now we have 2 slides all set to go. After the drawing, I want to add another activity, and this one's going to be an open-ended question. It's really nice to have this option, and what I'm going to do is ask them to respond to, tell me something that you know about the 1980s. And I can only imagine what their responses are going to be. Again, I'm going to add in another image. When it comes to Nearpod, it is a very image-heavy type of platform. The more images, the better it looks. So anytime you have the option to add an image, I strongly suggest that you do. So now there's the cover, the drawing, open-ended question. So let's get to a simple video. Because when you click on video, what it does is you can add in a video that you found on YouTube. So I'm going to look for primary and secondary sources because that's super important. So what it has here are some examples that I can choose. And there was one that I liked that was about used Powtoon, so I don't see that yet. Let me try again. And oh, that's why I'm way down here. There we go. Here is kind of a little bit better for me. Web sources. Oh, this is maybe with just Powtoon. No, that looks the same. For kids. I'm going to use this guy. The primary and secondary sources song. That looks good enough. I'm still going to preview it later on, mind you, but at this point, for the sake of time, I want to have this going on. So now I'm really I'm trying to create a very interactive slideshow. So the next thing I'm going to do after the video, what I want them to do is I want them to actually understand what the project is going to be. So I'm going to click the word slideshow and I'm going to pull up a PowerPoint, a real old-fashioned PowerPoint that I created earlier. And of course, I don't have it right here. So where did I put it? Where is it? Decades, project. Don't mind me. Go back to whatever it is that y'all were working on while I look for stupid things. OneDrive. Let's see, decades. That just has the cover. Well, shoot skis. So I am at a weird impasse right now. Must have saved it at a really odd spot. Maybe I just didn't save it at all. Weird. So, that really makes this awkward. Weird. Okay. I'll just have to pull something else up that's totally random. All right. Documents. Work. Let me see. Social studies. Units. Work. I just don't have very many PowerPoints, so this... Okay, I'll put in a totally inappropriate back-to-school PowerPoint. And so what it's doing is right now it's processing my PowerPoint, and later on people will be able to go through it one at a time. Obviously, I'm going to edit this because this isn't what exactly I want, but for the sake of this screencast, this is going to work. All right, let's add another slide. So now I want to take a poll, and I want to see which person wants which decade to study. So which decade would you like to study? And I'm going to answer in the 1940s, 1950s. I'm going to add some answers because I need more choices. All right. All right. And again, add that image, make it really visually appealing to these kids. And really sometimes it's just a matter of just trying to keep their minds going. So, after the poll, you can start quizzing them if you need to, if it's something that you need to do. You have fill in the blank options. Other options, that was fill in the blank, sorry. Other options that you have for activities is this really cool memory test. And this is so much fun. Kids love this one. So it tells you have different choices of grid size. You can do 6, 8, or 12. And I'm going to just stick with 6. And you're going to add in either by Google Images or by other images, which is great. So I'm going to start with 1940s and see what kind of images. And obviously, you can see you get quite a wide variety of these choices. So you have to really make sure that it's appropriate. So you click and drag, and there you go. You have the 2 images. So going into the 1950s, add that. Do a quick search. Ooh, good car one. 60s. 70s. What is it? Bee Gees. Why not? 80s. Michael Jackson, duh. And the 1990s. Okay. So now I have all the images. Then you have an option to do final question, which is really kind of cool because what you want to do is you're going to say, which decade was famous for disco music? I don't think they would know that answer, but it'd still be kind of fun to see what they would put. And then done and save. And so what you've created, you have now created this amazing interactive slideshow where they're looking at websites, they're looking at your own PowerPoints that you've maybe either created from years ago or borrowed or stole. I don't know what you did with them. It is open-ended questions. It has polls. It has quizzes that are just multiple choice. And the last thing that it also has is a web content feature. So you can specifically find a website that you want your students to visit. You just plug in that URL. It also lets you test the link. And now, while you can control which website you want them to visit. Once you're done, you simply click the word publish. You publish it. And then it dumps right into your library. And then if you ever need to, you can edit it to clean it up. You can click on the eyeball to get a preview. You have a live session, and you also have the homework. And then the best thing is you can share it with the people on your team so that you can make their lives a little easier. I know that was a little fast and furious, and I got a little stuck, but I wasn't willing to redo my whole screencast for that. So hope this helps you, and good luck.